so glad you've called in. Let me just set myself down first. I've got this for a reason. I'll be talking about that in a minute. Hey. How are you? You alright? I know there's a lot I can't even get it out. There's that much going on. You can go from one thing to the other, to the other, to the other. That's what this video is not about. But rather, if you've called in, Father, Father wants to bless us so much. And he's looking down and he sees the plight of his children. And I get Father's feelings and I get so emotional because he reveals how he feels in me. You know the 144,000? It's a number. It's a 1212, isn't it? 1212. If I start going on about numbers, I'll lose you. I know one. So instead, my Father says, show them my love. How do I do that, Father? Ask them a question. If they've ever fallen in love before. Okay. My Father says, have you ever fallen in love before? Have you? With someone? You might have been in school. And this beautiful girl. And you're only the same age. And you think, I love that girl. She's lovely. She's lovely, that girl. You know, when you're little. And she looks at you. And she looks the same way. I like that boy. He's a nice boy. You know. Child innocent love. So I'll ask the question because my Father says I have to ask the question. Have you ever fallen in love with anyone? Have you? That's what this video is not. I don't know what I'm talking about. Why, Father? It's because I have to. Alright, about love. I've got to talk about love. Did you plan it? Okay, Father. Right, so you've got somebody in mind that you're madly in love with, right? And I'm tying it in with the 144,000. Just a minute. Just bear with us. Okay. Every minute of the day, that person is in your mind. As you're walking, as you're doing something, as you're looking, they're never off your mind. Because love, right? Have you experienced that? Where somebody's never off your mind. Just there. all the time. That's for those who have fallen in love with someone. You know what I mean? Until you found out what they were like. Then you fell out of love with them. No, get the feeling. Get the feeling. You get the feeling. You got the feeling? No. The 144,000. Yeshua. Yeshua's in love, you know. He's in love so much that this person is forever on their minds. Whatever they're doing, wherever they go, in their sleep, in every second of the minute of the minutest second, this person's there for Yeshua. And guess who it is? Don't say it's you. Well, it might be you. That's right. He's in love with his father. Right? That's it. Now, let's say Yeshua comes to the earth and he manifests. Here he is. He's looking for someone who's in love with his father, just like him. Because if he finds someone who's in love with his father, just like him, then they are the perfect match. That's for Yeshua. No, Yeshua. When's he coming, Father? When's this fella coming? Is he ever going to get here? Is Yeshua? Is he ever going? I mean, the Jews are waiting for the Mashiach. They're still waiting. They're still waiting. Oh, you know, Father. Remind them on about what? The word Perusia. Oh, the word Perusia. Oh, yes. I did a video on that, you know. If you look back. About the Perusia. It's a Greek word, you know. And this Greek word, it says that, look out for Yeshua's Perusia. Oh, well, some Bibles see it coming. What does Perusia mean? What does Perusia mean? Well, tell them. I'm going to tell you. Perusia is a presence. I'm present. I'm present right now. Not a present. Presence. I am present, am I? Right now. But not everyone will see me. Not everyone will see me. Does that make me not present? Perusia. No. And in the first century, there was a man who came, and he came in the line of King David. Oh yes. All the evidence is there. And they were looking for the Messiah at that time, because Daniel, the prophet, said it would be about that time, so everybody was watching and waiting, and many would say, hey, I'm the Mashiach, Oh yes. I'm one of the Doggermen as well. Oh yes. So false messiahs appeared. And there's this man in the line of David. But they wouldn't recognise him. No. His presence was there. He had come. He was there. But they rejected him. They didn't recognise him now. And the Jews will have the same problem again. Because they will not be able to recognise the true Messiah. It's true. Oh yes. So, true Israel. I'm not talking about fleshly Israel. True Israel are the 144,000. They are the Israel of God. They are the chosen ones. Chosen before the foundation of the world. There were spirits before they came here. Now they've been born into this earth. And their duties are to be kings and priests. To who? To Father. Father is in the centre of all and everything. I breathe, I exist because the Spirit of Father brought me into existence. I cannot exist without Father's Spirit giving me life in this body, life in the soul, life, the Spirit that was created by my Father. My Spirit is unique. There is only one of me. My Spirit was put into this DNA of Adam. Come and hear the correct way. The correct way. Through Adam and Eve. Born through the genetics of the human that was made in my Father's image. So that's for the 144,000. Yeah. You know, some who call in here I have to say this, are under an illusion that they are one of the 144,000. Let me tell you this. We do not choose. Father chooses. He anoints. I don't. He reveals who you are. Can you remember being at school? And I'll give you an example. Excuse me, I've been drinking pop. Orange pop. I love orange pop. And here I am in the class. There's boys and girls. It was a mixed school. When I moved from one school to another, I thought, oh, there's girls in this school. Yay! There's girls in this school. And so we were mixed. What was the point I was trying to make? It'll come back in a minute. I just imagine the scene in the classroom. The teachers explaining maths, and he's got all the class involved. Put your hand up if you understand that. Did you understand that? You'd repeat this, and you'd repeat that, and you'd repeat that. Did everybody understand that? Yes, yes, yes. And I was just like this. And he'd look at me and said, do you get the point? Do you understand this equation? And I would just stare at him. And it was quite embarrassing, and he had to walk away. Now, why I'm saying this is, sometimes we think, or the teacher might think, he's got it, he's got it, he's got it. I was the only one who wouldn't say, I've got it, because I didn't understand what he was saying. But I wasn't brave enough to say so. Because everybody got it, you see. Everybody, and I would be embarrassed. The boy who's a little bit thick has to put his hands up and say, I didn't understand the way you put that, sir. It was a bit confusion. I wasn't brave enough. So I would fail on the tests because I couldn't understand what he was saying. And then I'd find out that even half the class couldn't understand what he was saying. And then sometimes I was brave enough to ask the question and show myself up. So what? Sir, that equation that you said this, that, and the other, how does this come to that and that and that? And then he'd explain it. And then he'd say, do you understand? I says, no. He says, do you have to say it again? I says, please, sir. So he'd say it all, and he'd do it all on the board again. And then I'd go, oh, I get what he's just not explaining it properly. I get what he's saying now. And then he'd say, right, do you have to say it again? I said, no, sir. He says, could you explain it? I says, oh, yes, sir. Go on. And I'd go on the board. Oh, yes, sir. Oh, yes, okay, sit down. You see, sometimes someone come in here and think, oh, yes, I'm a 144, 144,000. But not fully understand what I'm saying. Not fully understanding. You see, I don't mind repeating things over again if it's a little bit difficult to grasp, you know what I mean? And there has been a few people who've wrote on the channel. I am very grateful for it. I don't view anybody's comments as a challenge or getting at me or trying to trick me into something. If I can't answer a question, I can't answer a question. If I can, I can. You get what I'm saying? So, 144,000. Let me just tell you this before as I was doing this walk, I had a walk on. And I live in the beautiful countryside in the UK. And I'm walking down this lovely country lane, and here's this big fridge, big black fridge. Massive it was. Fridge freezer. It's a fridge and a freezer. In the UK they have them like fridge and a freezer. On its side, looked brand new. All the casing was there, everything was. And I went and I go round the corner from there down towards the farm end, and at the gate post there's a big sign there, no fly tipping, but there's this big fridge. And I thought to myself, isn't it sad? I'm walking in a beautiful countryside here, and we've got people just tipping this. I said, Father, we want to make this place a paradise, and we have this. And he said, always remember, there's two sides to a story. I said, oh, all right, Father. Well, what's the other side? What about the man who had to tip it there? I says, well, yeah, okay. What about the man, Father? Well, do you know his circumstances? Do you know what the council's doing to people? I says, oh, of course I do. I says, they charge you £10 just for taking the fridge away. Well, he said, right, let's say perhaps this person has a family, and to lose £10 is so crucial because he needs that £10 for something else. So, what does he do? I says, well, he could save it up, save all the scrap up in his yard or whatever he has, and doesn't matter how much there is, they're going to charge you £10. So save it and save it and save. He says, right, okay. And how will the neighbours feel as he's saving all these up just for one trip? I said, well, not very happy. That's right, Joseph. He says, see the problem? Maybe he doesn't want to load it up to make it look terrible in the community, but he cannot afford. I said, okay, Father. I says, yeah, there's always two sides to a story. It's the way the whole system is run. It is not my father's system. This system was set up and it's continued on way back from the time of Babylon. It is still here. And my father said this, because I said, what a waste. He says, yes. He says, I am going to teach mankind what value is. What value is? I says, what value is, Father? He says, yes. He says they don't value hardly anything and they throw good stuff away. He said that is a sin. I says, it's a sin. He says, yes, it's a sin to themselves. I says, well, can you give us an example for it? He says, yes. He says, look at all the computers. All the computers. They're valuable chips. They're valuable chips. He says, oh yes. He says, all those valuable chips have been thrown away. I says, aye. He says, they're valuable. This is going to be a shortage of chips. I says, a shortage of chips. A shortage of chips. Chips and rice. No. Chips. Chips. Chips from China. It's all fucked up. So my father says, you see, there's all sorts in these things that's been thrown away that are so valuable. There's going to be a rush to get these things. They're not going to no longer throw them into the, because there's silver in it, there's gold in it, and they've just thrown it away. Much of it will never be recovered ever again. He says, but there's going to be a rush. A rush? He says, yes. He says, I'm going to make them clean the earth up because all the things that used to come into port from this country, from that country, it's all going to stop. They're going to have to find this material from what they've thrown away. I says, so they're going to be raking from wood they've thrown away, for nails they've thrown away, for... Is that right, Father? He says, yes. He says it's been a wasteful generation. Wasteful. And it's time to stop. I remember, Father. I remember. The 5 loaves. The 2 loaves. 2 loaves of barley. And the 5 fish. And what was left over? All those baskets. Not one bit of it was wasted. Not one bit. And that's what Yeshua came to teach. Do not be wasteful. Do not throw things away. Now, the garments. What about in the past? They had to go through the wilderness for 40 years. And their clothes. There was no washing machines. There was no washing machines. There was no cobblers to fix your sandals. Oh, I says, what happened then, Father? Well, what happened? Their clothes never wore out. 40 years wearing the same things. 40 years with the same shoes. How many pairs of shoes you got? A fancy 40 years. Whatever you had on there, that's what you stuck with. Whatever garments they had at the time, they never wore out.